There are all kinds of unforgettable friendships in this world, but some of the best happen to be between humans and animals. No kidding. Who said different species can't get along? Heck, even predators and children can. We're all creatures of this world. It's all about the emotions. And we witnessed plenty of heart-wrenching moments in the stories we came across, showing us how love really knows no bounds. If you've got a friend, he or she will have your back, even if it's a cat, buffalo, tiger, or dog. So don't forget to watch today's video to the very end for 10 of the strongest friendships between humans and wild animals. But before we begin, we request you to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon to never miss another upload of ours. Having said that, let's jump right in. Number 10. Joe Pereira de Souza and Dindom the penguin. Dindom's future friend, Joe Pereira de Souza, rescued him when he was famished, covered in oil, and almost dying. The man nursed the bird back to health ever so gently before releasing him back to the wild. Ever since then, Dindom has traveled back to the coast of Rio de Janeiro to be with Joe for at least 8 months a year. Number 9. Mark Dumas and Adji the polar bear. Mark loves sharing his pool and bed of the polar bear. The not-so-gentle giant loves diving into water, wrestling, hugging, and playing all day and night with her trainer man. Adji could kill with one bite, but becomes a stuffed toy whenever she's with Mark. She spends all 365 days in their common home. Number 8. Kylie Brown and Snowflake the duck. When Kylie got a duck at 5, the two became inseparable at once. Kylie never leaves home without Snowflake and takes him for walks in the park, football games, malls, and almost everywhere a duck can or can't go. They even celebrate occasions like Christmas together. Number 7. Iris Grace Hounshaw and Viola the cat. Iris was born with autism and found it difficult to even talk, let alone doing anything else. But when she was given Viola, everything changed. She now goes for bike rides and walks, swimming and boating, with her feline friend by her side at all times. And she chatters too. Number 6. Aspinall and Quibi the gorilla. Quibi remembered her first caretaker after 5 years in the wild. It was the most amazing reunion. When the guy arrived in the forest on a boat, Quibi made an old sound of love and rushed to greet him. Quibi spent the night across his camp and introduced Aspinall to his family. It was unforgettable and went viral. Number 5. Rudy Bungle and Cabing the heroic dog. Cabing risked her life to save Bungle's 9-year-old daughter and a little cousin. She jumped on a speeding motorcyclist to stop it from colliding with the kids and lost half her face and jaw in the accident. Despite infection, Bungle refused to have the brave hero euthanized and eventually got her surgery done. Number 4. John Rendall, Anthony Ace, Burke, and Christian the Lion. John and Anthony bought Christian from a department store. They raised the cub in a basement. He even played with the neighborhood children. But after he was returned to the wild, the two went to the mountains to see if Christian remembered them. He did and jumped on them with joy you need to see to believe. Number 3. Gilberto, Cheeto, Shedden, and Pacho the crocodile. Shedden, a local fisherman, found Pacho badly injured on a riverbank one day. Shedden took great care of Pacho and released him into a river, only to find him back in his veranda the next day. Since then, Pacho never left and chose to stay with his savior forever. They later became really famous for performing as a duo. Number 2. Derek Thompson and Kam Law the elephant. Kam Law, the youngest elephant at Elephant Nature Park in northern Thailand, and her favorite staffer, Derek Thompson, 42, share a really special bond, which is why when she spotted Derek swimming across the river, she rushed into the water to try to save him. Incredible footage shows an elephant rushing to the rescue of her favorite trainer, who she believed to be drowning. Derek Thompson, 42, has formed an inseparable bond with 5-year-old Kam Law since she was brought to the reserve last year. He pretended that he was in trouble to demonstrate their special relationship. Derek is seen smiling as he peers at the camera while holding onto the elephant's legs. Derek, who is originally from Toronto, Canada, pretended that he had got into trouble in the river, splashing and crying out for help. When 5-year-old Kam Law reaches Derek, she uses her trunk to try and lift him up before putting one of her legs around him. When Kam Law reaches Derek, she uses her trunk to try and lift him up, putting one of her legs around him in an attempt to bring him to safety. Derek said, Kam Law was in a really bad way when she came to us. She had been tied up and forced to undergo cruel training known as crushing to prepare her to work in the tourist industry. We freed her and helped her to recover. She became really close to me and we formed a strong bond. I went in the river to show just how remarkable the relationship with humans is, and that if you show warmth and kindness to them, they will treat you well too. Crushing is a brutal training method where young elephants are tied up and beaten into submission. The method is used in Thailand's elephant tourism industry to make elephants more subdued and safer for holidaymakers to ride. After being rescued, Kamlan now wanders freely through the protected jungle sanctuary with dozens of other elephants. Number 1. Brina Carsey and NJB the horse. For as long as her parents can remember, 11-year-old Brina Carsey has had this crazy dream. She has always wanted a broodmare, a mommy horse, who would give birth to a baby horse, who would then grow up to become a racing champion. Absolutely, this was a fairy tale for her from day one. We put it off for 5 years almost because we don't have a farm. So we've got to go rent stalls somewhere, said her father, Brian Carsey, who explained that his daughter has me wrapped around her finger. Her foal was born in the spring of 2013. Brina named it NJB Got Faith for the faith she instantly had in him. I really loved him. He's super soft too, she said. But that quick bond posed a real problem for this pushover dad. See, for whatever reason, Brian thought once he explained to his daughter that her horse could never race, that it was a runt from poor breeding stock, she would just agree to sell it. She's like, "There's no price, Daddy," he said. So I'm talking to my wife and it's like, we really got ourselves in a mess here. And I don't know how we're going to get out of this. So we stake him to the races, the horse that I thought we should have gotten rid of already. Brian was stuck, committed to boarding and training this long shot to end all long shots. And this is not a wealthy family. Brian runs a small logistics company, and Ohio Racing, which is harness-style racing, is a $900 million a year industry. NJB Got Faith was so slow it barely even qualified to compete. But then somehow, someway, won his first race, then his second, third, and fourth, qualifying him for the state championship held in Columbus, Ohio. And I said, "Baby, if you finish third, you should be so thankful," Brian remembered. She goes, "Daddy, if he finishes last, I'm going to be thankful. But he's going to win." And so it was, that this little horse with no pedigree, this pet with no reason for being here beyond the blind faith of a little girl, won an Ohio Sire Stakes championship. She said, "Dad, I told you." "You gotta have faith," Brian said. Brina took home $100,000 that day. She half to charity and plans to put the other half toward buying a farm. "I just want to have a farm and be able to walk out my back door and see him," she said. Since we first told this story last year, things have only gotten better for Brina. She got a National Horse Racing Award and book and movie deals are in the works. Interestingly, her dad now has a racehorse, which he gave a most unusual name, Steve Hartman. Perhaps because of that poor choice, Brian has yet to win a single race. Hopefully his daughter will let him live on her farm. With that, we end today's video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And join in a next time for more of such interesting content.